Hey guys, welcome back to Loop Hub. Today we'll talk about some Dr. Pimple Popper moments that made us shudder. Let's head into it. Number 1. Reginald. On the December 28th edition of Dr. Pimple Popper, Reginald, who has a big ginger-like granular cyst all over the back of his head, went to see Dr. Sandra Lee with his wife, Carla. Carla is his strongest supporter, and it was she that persuaded Reggie, 51, to see a doctor after he had given up hope. Unfortunately, the pimple-busting expert, who has treated severe lipomas and cysts, thought she couldn't help the man, but didn't have the heart to say no. Reginald had acne keloidalis nuchae, she discovered after more research. Dr. Sanusi Umar, a hair transplant specialist in Manhattan Beach, California, was recommended to her. After much deliberation, Reginald was finally given local anesthetic and placed in the prone position, ready to begin the case. It would be fantastic to watch the man get rid of the source of his most severe suffering. Then there's Cher, who has a compressible bulge on her cheek, which is different from the lipoma, and says instances that Dr. Lee generally sees. We're curious as to what it is, and can't wait for Dr. Lee to open it up and tell us. Cher's bump on her cheek is difficult to conceal and causes her a great deal of embarrassment. Juan has a small cyst on the side of his cheek, a large bump on the back of his shoulder, and a massive lump on the back of his skull. Juan admitted that when he was stung, it felt like 1,000 bees were stinging him at the same time. Dr. Lee said on her Instagram story, as she detailed each case with her Instagram followers, "He was a lot of effort. Cases that are very uncomfortable, such as pus-filled lumps all over a patient's torso and neck, will be featured in this season. A patient with 3 large bumps on his head, a young lady who sweats so much she thinks she could fill a whole milk jug with it, a person with a sagging heavy earlobe, and a mysterious case who refused to talk about his condition or show the camera what was under his head until he had seen Dr. Lee, are among the cases." During the pandemic, the new season of Dr. Pimple Popper was shot with extreme caution. Dr. Lee talked with her patients outside in the open, where she sat with them at a distance of more than 6 feet so she could talk to them without wearing a mask. As the doctor approached to examine them, everyone put their mask back on. Number 2. Using cactus thorn to pop a pimple. Patients have benefited from Dr. Sandra Lee's assistance in setting up a virtual conference. She opted to meet Juan, a patient with a serious case of cysts. On the most recent episode, Juan confessed that he has had the issue since he was 13 years old. Juan admitted to being uneasy about himself as he showed off the cysts that had covered his entire body. At the same time, the most significant cysts are on the back of his neck, which he has been concealing with his long hair. Despite this, Juan has moments when he lacks confidence. He remembered having a pimple over his eye and popping it with a cactus thorn. Juan admitted that there were instances where he smelled anything and realized one of his pimples had popped. He used to wonder if the female chatting to him was staring at the cyst on his body or at him. At the same time, Juan stated he would frequently glance behind him to see whether anyone was staring at him. Juan didn't have a happy upbringing as a result of his disability. He had cysts since he was 13 years old, and school life did not bring fond memories for him. Juan claimed that his classmates teased him about calling him boils. He was forced to quit out of high school because he could no longer withstand bullying. Juan said that he had fought with confidence his entire life, and that he finally wanted to have a life where he didn't have to be concerned about what other people thought. Dr. Lee mentioned that he might have epidermoid cysts. After examining his cysts, they have a tendency to appear in any location with hair. According to her, Dr. Lee also mentioned that they might be removed to prevent them from growing again. Juan was relieved to learn this, and he was looking forward to meeting Dr. Lee after the lockdown was lifted. Number 3. Rock cysts around the eye. Hilda had been self-assured and had a fulfilling work until she began to see cysts around her eyes. She claimed that she began experiencing cysts around her eyes 7 years ago, which made her uncomfortable when she tried to blink. While she thought they would ultimately leave, her worst fears were realized when they began to grow in size. Dr. Lee opted to treat Hilda without spending much time debating what it is. She numbed the cyst location before beginning to pop them. Hilda's situation was unusual, according to Dr. Lee, because she had never seen several cysts in one location. She wondered if it was related to the procedures she had undergone. Dr. Lee removed the sac after busting all the cysts, which increased the odds of the cysts returning. She showed Hilda the finished product after she was finished. Hilda was relieved to be rid of her cysts, and she pledged to be more confident and carefree in the future. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.